Welcome back to Mike Drop Reviews. Last night I saw Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Question is, does it live up to its predecessor, or is it shockingly bad? Shazam, Fury of the Gods is the sequel to the 2019 film Shazam, one of the better liked and better rated DCEU films. While this film does a quality job of taking what made the first film so likable, I don't think it necessarily delivers perfectly or as good as the first film did, so I would still have to rank the original Shazam a little bit higher than this one. So let's get into the pros and cons of Shazam, Fury of the Gods. While it doesn't happen very often, especially in the DC universe, lightning does in fact strike twice with this sequel, as Fury of the Gods takes what is arguably the best parts of Shazam, that being the humor, the dialogue, and the connection between characters, and continues to build on that. Truthfully, I think it's hands down the best part of this movie. It's also worth noting that they do a great job of continuity from the first film and going to this one. I also think that the action sequences are done fairly well, and the powers look fairly realistic, and their super suits, where's my super suit, also look pretty damn good. Since this is a Warner Brothers picture, there are also references to other big movie franchises such as The Fast and the Furious, Lord of the Rings, and others that 90s kids and other viewers will definitely enjoy. For those of you that don't know, Shazam takes place in Philadelphia, just as the first film did. At the end of this movie, the heroes and villains meet at Citizens Bank Park, which is the home of the Philadelphia Phillies. I, being a New York Mets fan, do not like the Phillies very much, as they are a division rival. So all I will say is that what happens to the stadium at the end of this movie, I appreciated very much, and it put a smile on my face. On the negative side of things, I think you see way too much of Shazam, and the only reason I think that that's a problem is because it feels like Shazam is more childish than Billy Batson actually is. I know, and I know they're the same person, but when Billy is Shazam, I feel like he's way more immature, which it like feels weird because you don't really see Billy as himself like really in the movie that much at all. Like I would honestly say like 95% to 5%. Like 95% of the time you're seeing Shazam, and 5% of the time you're seeing Billy. And since you're seeing Shazam so much, and since he's like so immature and just joking around constantly, it just feels like it doesn't feel like they're the same person. I know they're two different actors, I get that, but it's supposed to be the same character. And just Billy seems just like, it just seems like two completely different people. But I will say it's cool to see Billy be more mature, because I actually think that that was a positive for the emotional side of the movie. But there's just such a difference in Billy as himself and then as Shazam that it just feels a little off. There's also a few cringe moments which you kind of come to expect with a movie that is about, you know, kids who become superheroes, but they're still kids. So it doesn't really take away from the movie all that much. You know, it doesn't make it a bad film or anything like that. The biggest downside to this film for me is that we finally got a sense of continuity and cohesiveness with this movie doing well from taking from the first one and taking from the Peacemaker TV series and the Black Adam movie, and all of that now essentially means nothing because we don't know the future intentions with Shazam. You know, Zachary Levi as Shazam. We don't know if Shazam is in James Gunn's plans for the DCU. We have no idea. So I think that's the biggest downside, because DC was struggling with getting fans to understand the cohesiveness of the stories, quite frankly, because there wasn't really much to begin with. And of course, now that they finally give us some, at least that's what I felt like. I felt like I've seen these shows, I've seen these movies, and then you start to feel that connectivity, and now it's just ripped away from you and thrown away, and it's like, well, what the hell? Like you, you finally started to do something right, and now you're just like, oh no, we're just gonna reboot the whole thing. Shazam! Fury of the Gods is a fun, entertaining, family-oriented superhero film that reminded me of Marvel's Eternals, Halloween Town High, and Saban's Power Rangers. If you liked the first one, you will like the sequel. Shazam! Fury of the Gods gets a 7.3 from MikeDropReviews. Let me know what you guys thought about the movie down below in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. This is MikeDropReviews. I will see you guys next time. Shazam!